It is possible that priority moves will be a hard counter to hyper offense in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We've seen strong priority moves before, from like a Kinkeldurr Mach Punch to Bullet Punch. But with the Terrestrialized gimmick, we're gonna see priority moves on a completely different level that we have not seen before. And if my math from a previous video is correct, these stab priority moves with the Terrestrialized gimmick are essentially going to be double power from what they are currently. So for starters, let's look at Eevee, and just running a very offensive choice band build. If we give it normal Terra typing and run the numbers, the quick attack on this is actually quite strong if you're running adaptability choice band. As you can see, the quick attack is a guaranteed 2-hit KO onto a offensive Venusaur. Now, the interesting thing about this interaction is the Venusaur actually loses this fight head-on if it does not terrestrialize itself. So if it's running Leaf Storm without an offensive item, it actually cannot one-hit KO this Eevee, which is a big issue considering Eevee would just be spamming a priority move. So all the speed advantage of Chlorophyll is not going to help you here, and neither is the Focus Sash going to help you here. So in this scenario, Eevee is actually in a favorable position against a Venusaur. So for everyone wishing Eevee was viable, there you go. There's the proof. But the calcs get more interesting from here. Let's take a look at a 252 Brave Kinkeldurr with the Guts bonus activated with the Fighting Terra type. And I'm just going to have it hit the Picolytic Set Thunderous, which is the Defiant Life Orb variant. And we can see that Drain Punch actually does the same damage as Rock Slide, essentially. But look at this Mach Punch. It is a guaranteed 2-hit KO onto Thunderous. And that might not mean very much, but a physical Thunderous cannot actually one-hit a Kinkeldurr. At least not easily, because Fly is a 2-turn move, and if the Kinkeldurr is running Protect, you can just Protect that turn, and then proceed to hit it with a Mach Punch before it can fly again on the next turn. So here we have another example of the thing that should not win actually ends up winning because of priority moves. But let's go deeper. If we did a similar thing with Mamoswine, its Ice Shards actually hit quite hard into Ferrothorn. So you could imagine something a lot squishier would just instantly explode to this Ice Shard. Of course, Icicle Crash is actually doing quite a lot. But now I want to turn my attention to those considerably stronger priority moves, such as Extreme Speed. So Lanoon can get Extreme Speed, and we have a 252 Adamant Choice Band Lanoon set up here going into this Charizard. And a Solar Powered Charizard easily can one-hit a Lanoon, even with just Heat Wave. But Lanoon can one-hit Charizard with this +2 priority Extreme Speed. There's kind of a pattern here, where these priority moves are getting so much bonus from the Terrestrialized gimmick that it's actually very hard for Hyper Offense to keep up, because now they're doing about the same damage, but this is +2 priority, so even like your Prankster Tailwinds don't actually matter, and don't help you in a fight against one of these. So imagine a Lanoon with, say, a Togekiss beside it for redirection. That's going to be pretty hard to deal with. You could always have defensive switch-ins in the back that resist normal. So there's ways around this, but let's go a little bit further, because let's say you want to use Protect as a way to try to counter these hyper-offensive priority moves. Well, here's Urshifu going into Stack Attack, okay? That is nearly a guaranteed 2-hit. So that turn 1 Protect becomes very dangerous to do in front of this. And if it ever decided to just Surging Strikes, well, you're gone. But this right here is being calculated with a Jolly Urshifu that does not actually have an item on it. So a Focus Sash Urshifu with Water Terra type can do this much damage. That's quite a lot. But take a look at Dark type Urshifu. That Sucker Punch is very strong, and that Wicked Blow is a guaranteed one-hit KO onto Stack Attacker. And this is a fairly bulky Stack Attacker. It's mostly HP, but even with 252 defense, I believe that is still at least a roll for a knockout onto Wicked Blow. But Urshifu is so strong into this gimmick, because it can go past the Protects and the passive turns if you're predicting just a very strong Choice Band Sucker Punch, because it could just Wicked Blow and completely destroy your Stack Attacker. And that's going to do a lot of damage to anything you have in the back as well. And just for fun, if you were to ever get a Belly Drum off on, say, a Azumarill, and you decided to run Terra-type Water on that, you can one-shot a Lapras with Aqua Jet, just so you know. So the point I'm trying to make here is your hyper offense teams are going to have an answer to priority moves. So something like Serena or Indeedee will probably be mandatory, because otherwise Elenoon's going to show up and sweep your entire team.